Hello students, this is Purushottam Vishwakarma and today I am back with this topic towards civil disobedience. Before that, we have studied Rowlatt Satyagraha, Jallianwala Bagh massacre and different Satyagraha movements by Mahatma Gandhi. We have already studied different people reacted differently to the call of Mahatma Gandhi. That means differing strands towards non-cooperation movement, differing strands within the movement towards civil disobedience. In February 1922, Mahatma Gandhi decided to withdraw the non-cooperation movement. Why? If you remember, there was Chauri Chaura incident. He felt the movement was turning violent in many places and Satyagrahis needed to be properly trained before they would be ready for mass struggles. Just after Chauri Chaura incident, Mahatma Gandhi called off the non-cooperation movement. Within the Congress, some leaders were now tired of mass struggles. Even within Congress party, many leaders were tired of mass struggles and wanted to participate in elections, council elections. Chittaranjan Das and Motilal Nehru formed the Swaraj Party within the Congress to argue for a return to council politics. They wanted to participate in council elections. But younger leaders like Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose pressed for more radical mass agitation, reform, and for full independence. They demanded for full independence. Agricultural prices began to fall from 1926. Two factors were there for decline of non-cooperation movement and emergence of civil disobedience movement. Agricultural prices began to fall from 1926 and collapsed after 1930, completely dissolved. As the demand for agricultural goods fell and exports declined, peasants found it difficult to sell their goods and pay their revenue. They were unable to pay their revenue. By 1930s, the countryside was in turmoil. The situation was worst, getting worse day by day. Against this background, the new Tory government in Britain, monitoring everything, constituted a statutory commission under Sir John Simon, that is also known as Simon Commission, set up in response to the nationalist movement. The commission was to look into the functioning of the constitutional system in India and suggest changes. So, what was this commission for? This commission was for looking into the functioning of the constitutional system in India and suggest changes. The problem was that the commission did not have a single Indian member. They were all British. That is why ये जो कमीशन था साइमन कमीशन, चूंकि इसमें कोई इंडियन मेंबर नहीं था, इसका खूब अच्छे से विरोध किया गया. And it was welcomed with the slogans "Go back, Simon." Simon, वापस जाओ. When the Simon Commission arrived in India in 1928, it was greeted with the slogan. It was welcomed with the slogan "Go back, Simon." All parties, including the Congress and Muslim League, participated in the demonstrations. तो सब के सब सारी पार्टियां एक साथ मिलकर के साइमन कमीशन का विरोध कर रही थी. मेन रीजन क्या था? इसमें कोई इंडियन मेंबर नहीं था. In an effort to win them over, Viceroy Irwin announced in October 1929. वायसराय इरविन ने क्या किया? उसने अनाउंस किया अक्टूबर 1929 में a vague offer of dominion status, कि हम इंडिया को डोमिनियन स्टेटस दे देंगे. लेकिन उसने टाइम डिसाइड नहीं किया, कब देंगे ये नहीं बताया. फॉर इंडिया इन एन अनस्पेसिफाइड फ्यूचर, टाइम उसने नहीं बताया कि डोमिनियन स्टेटस देंगे, ये तो बोल दिया, लेकिन कब, इट वॉज नॉट मेंशन्ड. एंड अ राउंड टेबल कॉन्फ्रेंस टू डिस्कस अ फ्यूचर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. and he offered to attend a round table conference for discuss about constitution. In December 1929, under the presidency of Jawaharlal Nehru, the Lahore Congress formalized the demand of पूर्ण स्वराज. पहली बार 1929 में जब लाहौर कांग्रेस सेशन होता है दिसंबर 1929 में, तो पूर्ण स्वराज की डिमांड की जाती है इन लाहौर कांग्रेस सेशन. That means full independence for India. It was declared that 26 January 1930 would be celebrated as the Independence Day. Mind it, 1930 में 26 जनवरी को इंडिपेंडेंस डे मनाने की बात की गई थी. अभी जो हमारा इंडिपेंडेंस डे है वो 15 अगस्त है, लेकिन तब लाहौर सेशन में ये बात रखी गई थी कि 26 जनवरी 1930 क्या मनाया जाएगा? इंडिपेंडेंस डे. हालांकि ये ज़्यादा नेम फेम प्राप्त नहीं कर सका. When people were to take a pledge to struggle for complete independence, but the celebration attracted very little attention. People did not participate in it. So Mahatma Gandhi had to find a way to relate this abstract idea of freedom to more concrete issues of everyday life. Mahatma Gandhi found a way. What was that way? The way was salt law, abolition of salt law. So next heading that we have the Salt March and the Civil Disobedience Movement. What was the relation of Salt March and the Civil Disobedience Movement? Mahatma Gandhi found in salt a powerful symbol that could unite the nation. How? On 31st January 1930, he sent a letter to Viceroy Irwin stating 11 demands. Some of these were of general interest, while others were specific demands of different classes. These 11 demands were related to different class people, from industrialists to peasants. And whose demands were these? Of industrialists and of peasants. The most stirring of all was a demand to abolish the salt tax. Above all, the most important demand was, out of these 11 demands, abolition of the salt tax. There was tax on salt. Salt was something consumed by the rich and the poor alike. महात्मा गांधी को लगा कि ये ऐसी चीज है जो सब इस्तेमाल करते हैं, अगर इसके बारे में हम बात करेंगे तो सब साथ में आएंगे. And it was one of the most essential items of food. The tax on salt and the government monopoly over its production, it was basically needed at that time by all the people, whether they were poor or rich. And because there was a tax, all of them came together against this. Mahatma Gandhi revealed the most oppressive phase of British rule. When Mahatma Gandhi declared it, the monopoly, एकाधिकार, कि नमक के ऊपर उन्हीं ने एकाधिकार लगा रखा है, ये ठीक नहीं है, तो सब लोगों को ये बात समझ में आती है. And that revealed the most oppressive phase of the British rule. Mahatma Gandhi's letter was in a way an ultimatum. वो जो लेटर उन्होंने दिया था 11 डिमांड का, it was like an ultimatum to the British government. If the demands were not fulfilled by 11th March, the letter stated the Congress would launch a civil disobedience movement or campaign. So it was clearly mentioned. Irwin was unwilling to negotiate. Irwin तैयार नहीं था. So Mahatma Gandhi started his famous Salt March, accompanied by his trusted 78 volunteers. The march was over 200 miles from Gandhi's ashram in Sabarmati to the Gujarati coastal town of Dandi. तो साबरमती से नियरली 240 माइल्स की यात्रा थी, जो 24 डेज में पूरी की गई, नियरली 10 miles per day. The volunteers walked for 24 days, about 10 miles a day. On 6 April, he reached Dandi. 12 मार्च को वो शुरू करते हैं अपनी यात्रा और पहुंचते हैं 6 अप्रैल को दांडी में, एंड सेरेमोनली वायलेटेड द लॉ, सॉल्ट लॉ, वहां जाके वो नमक बनाते हैं और साल्ट जो टैक्स था, जो लॉ था, कानून था, उसको तोड़ देते हैं। मैन्युफैक्चरिंग साल्ट बाय बॉइलिंग सी वाटर, दिस मार्क्ड द बिगिनिंग ऑफ द सिविल डिसओबीडियंस मूवमेंट। और इस तरह से वो सिविल डिसओबीडियंस मूवमेंट की बिगिनिंग हो जाती है। लोग अब वही चीज फॉलो करने लगते हैं, लोग हर जगह नमक कानून को तोड़ने लगते हैं। हाउ वॉज दिस मूवमेंट डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द नॉन कोऑपरेशन मूवमेंट? अब ये सिविल डिसोबीडियंस मूवमेंट और नॉन कोऑपरेशन मूवमेंट में क्या डिफरेंस था? पीपुल वर नाउ आस्क्ड not only to refuse cooperation with the British as they had done in 1921-22 but also to break colonial laws. गांधी जी लोगों से कहा करते थे कि उन कॉलोनियल लॉज को तोड़िए, आप जो वो कानून लागू किए हैं उन सब कानून को तोड़ दीजिए। पीजेंट्स रिफ्यूज टू पे रेवेन्यू एंड चौकीदारी टैक्सेस, और नतीजा क्या हुआ? जो पीजेंट्स थे वो रेवेन्यू चुकाना छोड़ दिए, चौकीदारी टैक्स देना छोड़ दिए। विलेज ऑफिशियल्स रिजाइंड एंड इन मेनी प्लेसेस फॉरेस्ट पीपुल वायलेटेड फॉरेस्ट लॉ गोइंग इनटू रिजर्व फॉरेस्ट। आई हैव टोल्ड यू, अंग्रेजों ने कानून बना के ट्राइबल पीपुल को फॉरेस्ट में जाने से रोक दिया था। वो अपने ही जंगलों को काट नहीं सकते थे, उनसे लकड़ी नहीं ले सकते थे, फ्यूल वुड, वहां अपने जानवरों को चरा नहीं सकते थे। गोइंग इनटू रिजर्व फॉरेस्ट टू कलेक्ट वुड और ग्रेज कैटल। Worried by the developments, the colonial government began arresting the Congress leader one by one. अब जो लीडर्स थे कांग्रेस के, सबको अरेस्ट करना शुरू किया ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट ने। दिस लेड टू वायलेंट क्लैशेस इन मेनी प्लेसेस। जो एजिटेशन था वो वायलेंट होने लगा। When Abdul Ghaffar Khan, a devout disciple of Mahatma Gandhi, was arrested in April 1930, जब पहली बार अब्दुल गफ्फार खान, जिनको हम फ्रंटियर गांधी के नाम से भी जानते हैं, सीमांत गांधी, उनको अरेस्ट किया गया अप्रैल 1930 में। एंग्री क्राउड्स डिमॉन्स्ट्रेटेड इन द स्ट्रीट्स ऑफ पेशावर, तो गुस्से में लोग पेशावर की सड़कों पे आ जाते हैं। फेसिंग आर्मर्ड कार्स एंड पुलिस फायरिंग, और उनको फेस करना पड़ता है पुलिस फायरिंग को। Many were killed, and in the process, many were killed. A month later, when Mahatma Gandhi himself was arrested, a month later, after a month, when Mahatma Gandhi himself was arrested, industrial workers in Solapur attacked police post. After the arrest of Mahatma Gandhi, industrial workers in Solapur attacked police stations, municipal buildings, law courts and railway stations, all structures that symbolized British rule. A frightened government responded with a policy of brutal repression. A frightened government responded with a policy of brutal repression. Peaceful satyagrahis were attacked, women and children were beaten, and about 1 lakh people were arrested. In such a situation, Mahatma Gandhi once again decided to call up the movement and entered into a pact with Irvin on 5th March 1931. Gandhi-Irvin Pact was signed on 5th March 1931. By this Gandhi-Irvin Pact, Gandhiji consented to participate in a round table conference. Earlier, Gandhiji denied to attend. The Congress had boycotted the first roundtable conference in London, and the government agreed to release the political prisoners. In December 1931, Gandhiji went to London for the conference, but the negotiations broke down and he returned disappointed. He was disappointed after the roundtable conference. Back in India, he discovered that the government had begun a new cycle of repression. Ghaffar Khan and Jawaharlal Nehru were both in jail. The Congress had been declared illegal. By this time, Congress had been declared illegal. Congress को illegal बना दिया गया था. And a series of measures had been imposed to prevent meetings. British government ने meetings को रोकने के लिए तमाम मेजर्स लागू कर दिए थे। डिमॉन्स्ट्रेशंस एंड बायकॉट्स विद ग्रेट एप्रीहेंशन, इस डर से महात्मा गांधी री-लॉन्च्ड द सिविल डिसओबीडियंस मूवमेंट। फॉर ओवर a year the movement continued, but by 1934 it lost its momentum। लेकिन 1934 तक जाते जाते ये अपना मोमेंटम खो देता है, यानी इसका कोई मतलब नहीं रह जाता।